for anyone who is starting a podcast, I think just know it's going to be a really fun and eye-opening and journey, and you're going to learn a whole bunch about yourself, I think.
Yeah. Welcome to Leaf Notes, the podcast that helps your business take root and grow. I'm Adrienne Marshall, seasoned business owner and speaker.
And I'm Sydney Mafuka, artist, illustrator, and small business owner.
Join us each week as we take you on a journey through the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. We'll dive into everything from social media strategy to protecting your business.
We'll even answer your burning questions such as, do I need a business plan? Should I form an LLC? Where should I promote my business? And so much more.
Together with our guests, we'll break down these topics into actionable steps, helping you build the business of your dreams.
So whether you're just starting or you're looking to scale, we got you covered.
So go grab your notebooks, your favorite beverage, and cozy up to receive practical insights and inspiration here on Leaf Notes. Let's go make your business dreams a reality. So I thought that we could make this a special episode since we're how many months in? We start this podcast in November. November, December, January, February, March, April. So we are 6 months in. So we're 6 months into this podcast journey. I thought it would be cool to take this moment to reflect on things that we're enjoying, things that we're not enjoying.
Why is your smile so big? Why are you so silly?
I am not being silly. I just think it'd be cool to talk about things that we're enjoying, not enjoying. Things like maybe the timeliness of one of the members is bothering one of the other members. And we can talk about lessons that we've learned through this podcast journey. It can be helpful to somebody else who's thinking about starting a podcast as well. We should go back and forth. You want to go first?
How about you go first?
Okay, I'll go first. So one thing that I'm really enjoying, I'm enjoying the fact that we don't have a lot of listeners and viewers because I feel like the pressure is off. And I think it gives us time to kind of hone in on things. So although I have a pretty decent following on my business side, and so do you, not a lot of them have made the journey over, but I don't mind that as much. They come over gradually, and I think it's giving us a chance to fine tune some things without a ton of pressure. So that's one thing I enjoy.
One thing I enjoy is that we have dedicated yap time. Like we just get to, just talk about things, and I think it's nice, to have our little dedicated, almost like a one-on-one.
Yeah.
Like, hey, how are things going?
Right.
I think that's really, really nice. It's a really good weekly touch base, and then to share the knowledge is really cool too.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Another thing I'm enjoying is Jess. Jess is amazing. Jess and her team. Shout out to Jess and Ani. They make this process so easy for us. All we have to do is record, then we send it off to them, and they edit it and post and publish and get it up to all the channels. And Jess is really great with her monthly meetings and giving us feedback and all of that stuff. So I think that's really great too.
I think it's also cool how open she is to learn as well. Like all of us are sort of learning and growing together, which I think is really, really cool too. And I agree with you on the editing thing because as someone who edits their own YouTube videos now, it takes a really long time to do. So to not have to have that weight on our shoulders so that we can go and do our own business things or whatever we have going on. It's really, really nice.
I think so too. It's a privilege, right? Yep, it's great. So has this journey been what you were expecting? Did you expect it to be more daunting, or what were your expectations when you first started?
I don't think I had any expectations. I feel like it just felt like we were really diving in deep on this one.
Yeah.
I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't expect to be as comfortable talking a lot. I talk a lot. So I didn't expect to be so comfortable just talking so much. So that was a really, really great surprise. And I think I didn't expect our guests to be really, really great too.
Yeah.
I feel like they were really impactful. And it kind of goes back to what you were saying about us not having as many views or followers and stuff. It really felt like we were having intimate conversations with these people, so it still felt beneficial aside from the metrics and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed the guests. I think we've kind of tweaked things as we've gone along. Like now we are realizing that we like to have a guest a month and have a kind of a theme for that month and then talk through that. So I think that's really great. We've tweaked that versus remember at first how we were going to do, you do your guest and I do my guest. And then we have 2 episodes in
We were
between.
scrambling too.
Yeah, we were. So I think we're kind of in a groove now and it's exciting.
It is exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think for anyone who is starting a podcast, I think just know it's going to be a really fun and eye-opening and journey, and you're going to learn a whole bunch about yourself, I think.
Yeah. When I think back, is there anything that you regret or that you wish we would have known sooner or anything you would have done differently?
It's interesting because as we're going, so if for some of you guys who obviously you guys may not know, but we're considering, doing a little bit of like a rebrand with like our cover and like things like that. I mean, obviously things are going to change over time, but maybe I wish that we did a little bit more research on like the business podcasts out there, not just like the heavy hitter ones that have like millions of like followers, listeners, subscribers, or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that may have helped us from like having to shift so much.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like I'm happy with where we are. So it's kind of hard to have any regrets
about
what I mean? But I think because now we're going through that rebrand again, I think that's
change is always hard, right?
Yeah, it is. So sometimes I do think, damn, I wish that we did a little bit more research on our own and didn't leave it all to like Jess or whatever to sort of like have a little bit of expertise in what we want, what we're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's all a learning experience. I think the fact that we put ourselves out there in this way is a huge thing.
Yeah, me too. And it's hard to be, I get what you're saying, changes, but I don't think we would ever would have gotten it perfect anyways.
Yeah, I think change is inevitable.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I think as you go along your journey, you're bound to learn new lessons and you're bound to apply those things. And that's why, again, like I said, it's hard to have regrets because I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So if someone came to you thinking about starting a podcast with what we've learned now, what piece of advice would you give them?
Advice that I would give someone to starting their podcast would be to do market research, look at what's out there, listen to a whole bunch of podcasts, and really try to make yours better than what is already out there. That's what's going to make you a game changer, providing just as much or more value or a different perspective is what's gonna, I feel like, even no matter who listens, will make your podcast a very valuable and educational experience. And to be consistent, to keep showing up for yourself, right? I think it's easy. It's hard to start, but it's even harder to keep showing up even when you don't feel like it, even when it's hard, even when you're tired, right? So I think, doing that research and being consistent and planning your episodes. I something that I did, and this isn't like podcasts like, but this is like YouTube like, is and I think I actually filmed this part on like one of the vlogs in the previous episodes, is I wrote down so many YouTube ideas that I could do back to back to back. So like the next time that I'm showing up to do a YouTube video, I'm not thinking, oh God, what am I going to be doing? Because I already have like a list of video ideas that I'm going to be doing. So I think for podcast episodes, if you're just starting out, and especially if you're doing it on your own and you're juggling a whole bunch of different things, it's really good to have like a solid plan, you know what I mean, to rely on so that you can hold yourself accountable. And so on those hard days, it's a lot easier to show up for yourself.
That's really good advice. And it's funny because, we are having to batch make a lot of podcast episodes because of things that are going on with our editor and all of that. Shout out to Ani, so happy for you. But I feel like that's kind of made us plan further ahead, which has been super helpful to know, okay, we already know in 3 weeks what we're going to talk about.
Absolutely.
So, I agree with you. That's really good.
What about you? What is some advice that you would give to someone starting their podcast?
I like the consistency, showing up for yourself. We've done a lot better than I thought we would do on the consistency. Why do you think that is?
I think it's because you're Virgo with putting it on the calendar. I think it's also because it was something that we both wanted to do.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like something that we were forcing ourselves to do. We were just like, the reason why we started this podcast is like, hey, we both listened to podcasts and now we both want to start one. You know what I mean? So I think with your Virgo and my Virgo moon, we
Mhm.
just like came together and was like, well, this is on our planner for the
Let's
week.
go do it.
Let's go do it.
Yeah, I'm proud of us. We have not missed a single
Week.
week,
Did we miss 1 week?
but it was on purpose.
Oh,
Yeah.
so I don't. Yeah,
Yeah,
we've
that's
been really good.
we've been really good about it. So yes, I definitely second that piece of advice about being consistent. If it's on the calendar, treat it like any of your other meetings that you would have for other people. Do it for yourself, even if there are not any other listeners. Because as me and Sydney found out, we had a surprise listener. We didn't even know. Shout out to our listeners, all you guys. But shout out to one listener that I met at the Be Local event that I didn't even know actually listens to us. So that's really exciting. You never really know who you're going to be taking along with you on your journey. So it's really, really exciting. But yeah, show up for yourself, I think is really good. And just get started. I think we overthink a lot of things,
Mhm.
but there's value in just like I tell people all the time when they're starting a business that your biggest ally is your momentum, getting it going. And then when you're going, then you can make changes as you go along. But it's hard to start and it's really hard to stop. But once you stop, it's hard to get started again.
Yeah.
So just keep the ball rolling. I think it's really, really important.
I agree because I think it applies in many areas of our lives, right? Like when you mentioned that, I thought of two things. I thought of the gym.
Yep. Yeah.
Of how when you make going to the gym a habit, it's like something that you look forward to doing. It's something that gets you up in the morning or whenever you go or winds you down for the evening or whatever, right? So I think you're so right. And then like it's harder to stop. Like you feel kind of like something's missing when you don't go, right? Like, hold on, something's not right. I'm not feeling the same way I always feel. And it's not because the gym makes you feel amazing, which it does, but it's also because you establish
form a habit.
Yeah, you have momentum with that. Something else, again, with our podcast, when we miss an episode, or if we did, I feel like it would feel a little bit weird. It even feels weird when we batch and then we don't have to
It
record for a
does,
little
right?
while. Like, shouldn't we be doing something?
Because I remember over the Christmas holidays, that's when we intentionally paused. But you're right, it did feel like we should be doing something on Wednesday.
Are we missing something?
Yeah.
So
that's good, solid advice.
it is. And I just think also give yourself grace. I think that with any type of content creation or anything in life, whether you're planting seeds for a garden or you're starting a new business venture or you're starting a podcast or you're starting a YouTube channel or you're getting your social media in order, know that you are planting seeds.
Yeah.
I bet there's many of you, including myself, where I discovered a YouTube channel that has existed for 5 years.
Right.
And just binge their content because of all those seeds that planted. And things don't happen overnight, but showing up for yourself and continuing to learn and be the better version of yourself in any area of your life is all that you should ask of yourself. No matter what.
No matter what, that's solid. And one piece of advice too that I would give our viewers is do a podcast that not just benefits other people, but benefits yourself. Because I have learned so much while doing our podcast, how to make, wouldn't even say better reels, but how to make reels. And now they're
doing really well.
They're doing so well. There have been so many things I've done. I don't think I was doing block planning before. I wasn't putting my gym on the calendar. I wasn't putting affirmations on my calendar until we started talking about those sorts of things. So there's been so many good habits that I've implemented into my daily life because of our podcast.
I agree. And I think it's going to sound so sappy.
So sappy.
Again, it's the timeliness for me, guys. It's a timeliness. So, if I could shed a little tear,
I was going to say,
what's up. Like, honestly, it feels like I'm on the brink. Like, my eyes are later, like, just say something emotional. We're ready to go. But anyway. I was going to say, I think we became closer through this podcast.
Don't you think so?
I think we became besties.
Are we besties? We are besties. That is so crazy.
I do, because I feel like we relate a lot to each other. And I felt that way last year before we started our podcast as well. But I think actually having time to sit down and talk about some things that we have in common.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to see how much we actually like relate to each
I
other
agree.
and how we've been able to hold each other
We
accountable
do
and
hold each other
and
accountable.
we're there for each other.
And we haven't really argued, have we?
I don't
I
think
don't
we
think
ever argue. I
so.
don't remember the last time, Mom. To be honest, I think it was like a teenage, early 20s thing. I do think, like, to any of you moms, if you're a mom, just know it gets better.
Yeah.
After the teenage years,
Yeah.
like, it gets better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think we
I
argue.
don't think so either.
I
Like,
don't,
we may have different points of view, but we just talk about it.
yeah, I think it's just a mature conversation. I
Mhm.
don't think either of us have any issue with the other disagreeing. It's usually
No.
not on anything
Yeah, that's big.
huge.
Yeah.
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 So maybe that's a good lesson too. If you're going to do a podcast with someone else, just make sure that your energy is matching, that there's that level of respect.
And that you guys are gonna both show up, that you guys
Mhm.
both have like some common ground. You guys are both really into it instead of it just
Mhm.
being. I've seen too many examples of business ventures where one person's really into it and the other person's
Yep.
just kind of like tippy tapping along.
Exactly.
Like I'm just here, and they're not really
Yeah.
doing as much work
Yeah.
because they're not as invested in it,
Right.
So yeah, I think you're right. Having someone who matches your energy, who's just as invested as you, and who is just as passionate as you,
Yeah.
maybe not on the same topics, but on some sort of common ground, right?
Mhm.
I think then that's all you need to have some. Oh, and someone who talks a lot.
Someone who talks a lot.
One of you has to talk a lot.
Yes. Yeah, so else
You guys
it's not
can't-
gonna work.
Because how is it gonna work if no one's talking? Maybe it could be ASMR. You guys both breathing into the microphone.
But that's getting creepy.
It's getting creepy, but someone might be into it. I don't know.
That's so funny. Cool.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you want us to intentionally do differently heading into the second half of our year?
I think I want us to experiment with doing something differently with our social media marketing for our reels.
Yeah.
I think I might want to do something that's similar to the reels that I make for my own Instagram.
Yeah.
It's not art related, but like in that same like more narrative where you're taking
Mhm.
someone on a journey type of experience.
Mhm.
I don't know, but I think I want to brainstorm and figure out how we can improve that to
Yeah.
maybe reach a larger audience or
Okay.
spread awareness that we exist. Because I think we've been doing the talking head thing for a while.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
I think you're right. That's a really good point.
Yeah, or at least diversify it a bit. Maybe the talking head thing can be like
Every once in a while.
every once in a while.
Yeah.
But I think we've seen what's working and what's not
Mhm.
a little bit. So I
Mhm.
think that's something that I think
Mhm.
we should give a try.
That's fair. Okay, we'll talk about it.
And then I think we should also broaden onto the ticks of talk.
Oh, geez.
Like just
You're
shit, like
right.
bringing our content over there.
That's
Even
a good
on
idea.
YouTube short. I mean, we do that one short, but all of our content could really go over
Yeah.
there for our short form.
Yeah, it can.
So
Okay.
just upgrading our marketing a little bit that way.
Yeah, that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good stuff.
All right. You know what we could do one day?
Tell
we
me.
could have like some type of Leaf Nodes product of some sort.
What kind of product would we have?
Oh, maybe we would have like affirmation cards.
Affirmation cards.
Maybe
would
we'd
be
have different
killer.
products that relate to like past episodes, like a planner that we
Oh,
bring
that's
out that promotes like block planning. But it's
Yeah.
because you're the planner and I'm an artist, so like bringing
Yeah.
those together for some really cool. Because you use a passion planner,
Yeah.
so bring some aspects that you like of that while
Mhm.
including like maybe stickers to help you block plan. Like I think that would be a really cool
That's
project to have.
Pretty cool.
But or like how we've been talking about self-care, maybe we have like
Mhm.
candles or something that like
Mhm.
promotes like self-care and
Mhm.
calming down and easing anxiety. I don't know. Like I think we've come across a lot of really cool topics that maybe it might be cool to have like some like cute little
Artifacts.
or that can help people have a call to action on their own.
Yeah. Maybe we could do, and after we get through all these episodes that we're planning, but we can talk about definitely social stuff. And then maybe we can kind of go through each episode and think like what artifact, whatever, from this episode, and maybe kind of put
Yeah.
together something.
Because again, the first thing that comes to mind for me is like the planning one.
I like the planner where you could design a beautiful cover, and there are a lot of things from Passion Planner I want to pull in, but there's some other things that they
That's
don't do
not bad.
block planning.
Mm-hmm.
Some other things that I like to incorporate that are not in there.
Yeah, create
That would be
the perfect
sweet.
planner, and then we can do an update of how we're using it, or
Oh my goodness.
whatever, you know what I mean? Or updates on like, then, oh my gosh, and it gets into like creating your own products as a business, as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Then, you know what I mean? There's so many ways we
So
can go
many
with that.
things. I like that idea so
I
much.
do too.
That's a good one, Sydney. I know.
They happen sometimes. They just pop out of me like,
That's a
boop.
great one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I use a digital planner now, as you guys probably know. But it'll be great to have both versions of
Yeah,
that
just a
also.
download or one that people can order.
Yeah,
Like, it could
yeah,
just be a PDF or whatever
right.
that you can put into GoodNotes or like
Exactly.
whatever
Yeah.
app people use.
Shout out to Flexsil, which is what I use. And we
Ooh,
love GoodNotes too. GoodNotes
GoodNotes
is
is
just
good.
OG.
Yeah, I
It-
really enjoy GoodNotes. I
yeah.
still use it in my college days. I use
hmm
it now,
Yeah, it's
so
solid.
it's solid.
hmm
So, do you
Good
have
stuff.
good stuff? Do you have any other thoughts that you want to share before we?
No, I like your thoughts. I'm gonna steal your thoughts publicly. I think they're great. I like them a lot, and I would document. What I would do is I'm the documenter. I will document them, and we will plan those out. I think that's really awesome.
Yay! So
I like the
cheers.
stickers idea.
I know, it'd be
We
so
love.
cute.
Look at your laptop with all the stickers.
Yeah. And I just collect them from myself, obviously, but from other people too.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah,
it's nice. I love stickers. They brighten up any space, you
for
know.
sure.
Yeah. So with that being said, I mean,
I mean,
happy 6-month anniversary.
yay to us. We should have had a cupcake.
We should have.
And thank you guys so much for listening. Those who have been with us from the beginning, those who have found us years later. We just love you guys so much. And we're really, really appreciative and blessed to have you all along this journey.
It's really an honor.
Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to Leaf Nose. If you're watching on YouTube, drop a comment below and let us know what your takeaway was. Or if you're listening, take a screenshot, post on social media with your takeaway. This will help us reach more small business owners just like yourself. If you would like to leave us a review, head over to your favorite podcast app and drop that 5-star rating. Your feedback helps others find our show. And until next time, we hope your business takes root and grows.